Welcome. So glad you're all here. It's about 2:20 in the morning. Now, this is about the time when in the 80s, I would have been at the bar, in the club, getting a good sip. See, back in the 80s was back when you could party. There was no trouble. There were no ratchets. There were no thugs. What there was were suits, tight dresses, good shoes, heels. There was no magnetometer because there was no violence. All of the upscale, sophisticated black people would come in the club, and even in other clubs, whether they were the Hispanics doing the freestyle with the Italians, or even the white clubs. It was a good environment. It was a good vibe. There was no trouble. And you would come in looking like something. Men look like men. Ladies look like ladies. The music was funky. It was lively. It kept you jumping. But you did it with class, with dignity. And we partied until 4 or 5 a.m. We shut the club down. No fight, no gun, no knife, no wig pulling. There was barely even an argument. Amongst the gentlemen, if you had your drink in your hand, working your way through the crowd, and you bumped into someone, oh, excuse me, bro. And Cat would say to you, hey, no problem, man. Come on through. And if you did, maybe knock his drink over. Hey, man, let me replace that for you. Here, I'll order another one for you. And dude would say to you, nah, man, it's not necessary. That's what it was. Because we were all people having a good time. And that's what I'm here to reminisce. I would come in the club looking somewhat like this, or sometimes in one of my suits. Let me give you an example of what that looked like. So that was when I was a assistant promoter at a club in Manhattan. Here's another one of my looks. And that was a woman who was the head promoter of Friday nights at a certain club. I don't have any beef with that club. I'm only saying a certain club because I'm not sure the permissions. I'm new to this whole YouTube broadcasting thing, so I don't want to get myself in trouble. But anyhow, that's what it looked like. At the time, my drink of choice was the slow gin fizz or the white Russian. Or if I was taking it easy and I just had a beer, then it would be a Heineken or a Guinness. And that's all there was to it. Now, when I say all there was to it, some of you may go, well, that's not exciting. Well, back in our time, that was exciting. And I'm talking the 80s here. This is before the takeover of ghetto music. Because we would put on sharp suit, head downtown, and there were a number of clubs that we would frequent. My personal favorite was a place called Justine's, New York, Manhattan, Lower Manhattan. If I remember correctly, Justine's was on 8th Avenue at around 36th Street, but there were a few others. There was Leviticus, that was the first upscale black nightclub that I entered. And that was on, I believe it was 33rd Street, right off of 6th Avenue, maybe a block away from Macy's Herald Square. And there were a number of other clubs. There was Silver Shadow up on 57th Street, not far from Central Park South. There was Bentley's before it turned into a ghetto establishment, because the Bentleys that I entered the first time I went in, that Bentley's, when you came around the corner from the parking garage, there were limousines up and down the street. There weren't no Jeeps blasting music. There wasn't rims. It was limousines. And when you look at that line, it was an impressive group of black folk. First time I went in Bentley's, it was class. First song I heard was Single Life by Cameo, and the place went nuts. It was a pleasure to be around. It was exciting. It was fun, non-violent. Then there were other places that came along. As I mentioned, my favorite was Justine's, but the first one I'd been into was Leviticus, Silver Shadows, Bentley's. There was, I believe it was 72 West, and it was literally on 72nd Street West, a little further up, more like Midtown Manhattan. Another classy establishment where you heard R&B and house music, and there was none of this ghetto aggressiveness. And we would close the place out. Lights would come on and we'd still be dancing. And the DJ would have to come on and go, okay, that's it, last song of the night. But they weren't mad at us and we weren't mad at them. And there was no cursing or fighting or riffing or violence. And afterwards, we would go get breakfast, much as the club crowds do now. But we didn't go to get breakfast in the restaurant to fight. No, that's not how we did it. We went to a finer establishment, even if it wasn't a big breakfast. And we act like we had some sense. We go in there happy because we had a good time. Maybe you met someone, or maybe you were just with your people. And there was some peoples over there with their people, and you saw them and you said, hey man, I saw you out there. And they would look at you and go, yeah, man. And you just gave each other and that was it. There wasn't a need to destroy one another. Destroying one another wasn't part of the fun. In fact, destroying one another would have ruined the fun. We were happy to all be out there because we all had jobs. We had some money in our pockets and our responsibilities were taken care of. And we were building it as we're flying it, as one of my favorite podcasters used to say before his untimely passing. So, for those of you who may have remembered those times, this is for you, this is for me, this is for us. This is what fun used to look like. I pity this new generation. My offspring, my son and daughter, they kind of cut to my mold. My son loves style. And he would have loved to be in that kind of environment. But that's not what it is now. He's growing up in a world of fitted caps, mop heads. Well, I'm not going to say too much on that. No, because that would disparage them, that generation. But he's a man of style. And I'm hopeful that one day, what we used to do to have a good time will come back. And some of him and his buddies could put their best on, shave, get a fresh cut, and go to a lounge or even a nightclub that's not rooted in aggressiveness and hypermasculinity, and all of the things that have destroyed the nightlife. Or my daughters, because I have two, they can go into a nightlife that's not dominated by ratchetness, but being ladylike. And that they can have a social life that extends into the evening and the night and even the early hours and still have a good time and do it with class. Now, I hope you can relate to this. I know some of you relate to this. And maybe one day they'll get it together and it'll be what it was that we could enjoy. But I'll leave it at that. And I'll take you out with, interestingly, a former co-worker, because I'm retired now. But his name is Ray Rav. He is a hip hop artist. But he made a track that I think people from any generation can relate to. It's called I'm So Broke. And I can relate to that a little bit right now because I used all of my funds to take care of business. The mortgage is paid. Everything's paid. Everyone's taken care of. But that only left me with a few dollars to get myself a fine bourbon, do this broadcast, and enjoy a drink. So at almost 3 a.m., I'm going to sign out and leave you with Ray Rav. I'm So Broke. Maybe one day I'll play the video. Good night, everyone. Have fun.
Son, I've been broke like crazy, man. I get paid on Friday. Oh my God. I'm so broke, but I get paid on Friday. I don't know if today is my day. I'm so broke, but I get paid on Friday. I don't know if today is my day. Damn, right now I'm broke as a joke. broke. About to sell my PlayStation and my joystick broke. Yeah, I'm getting paid minimum wage Friday. But how they supposed to help if I can't make it to Thursday? And by Sunday, most of my check gone. The phone bill, cable bill, and lights finna go off. Now I'm finna go off. Can't spend on myself. I'm living for the government, I can't live for myself. And it ain't helping my wealth, it's messing up my mental health. Like what am I supposed to do for myself? Getting a low green like an elf. I keep a gold wrap on me, cause if I had a seat I know it'd be felt. And I'm tired of riding taxis, tired of riding the bus, tired of hopping turnstiles, I'm tired of giving the